Alright, so we just got the ReZero update, Inanimate Last Stand, and one of the new units we got, here I'll just show you the damage number. Yeah, there's something very wrong, and that's what we're checking out today. Hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, maybe if you like or subscribe. But anyways, let's get into it. Hello guys. The unit we're checking out today is Rem and Ram, and specifically when paired with Kaneki, there's a weird interaction that causes, well, you know, you saw the damage numbers in the intro. Quite a bit of stuff. Now if we take a look here, this is just a normal DPS unit. We've got a pretty standard build of Glitch and Mystical on her, and of course a maxed out crit tree. But I think the first thing we'll do is hop into an infinite, so I can show you guys where the super high damage is coming from. Okay, so for the main thing we're doing today, let me go ahead and place down my Ram somewhere. This is a duo unit. We have Rem and Ram down, 311 mil on Ram, and 868 mil on Rem. Of course, they do have stats effects as well, but I'm not really accounting for those right now. We're going to keep these in mind and kind of compare the numbers we're about to see. Now, if I'm being honest, I'm not entirely sure what this bug is being caused by, but I have a pretty good idea. If we take a look at their first passive, pretty much the two units we have can share buffs between each other, and whenever one of them is stunned, the other one will gain a little bit of a damage buff, which can't be shared, so that one can't be infinitely copied. And now we're going to take a look at Kaneki and how he plays into what we're doing. Right away, on placement, he has access to the ability Flesh Eater, which is going to choose a unit to stun and then buff his own damage, pretty much. What we're going to do is use that on Rem, and then use our Oni Awakening on Ram. And now she gains 8.31 trillion, which is a pretty crazy number. We have a damage buff of 2.67 million%. Now there are a few variations of this weird damage buffing bug with Kaneki and Rem. We're going to replace them down real quick. And we're also going to replace down Kaneki. Pretty much I'm just doing this to refresh the cooldowns on everyone. And now with Kaneki we're going to use the Flesh Eater on Ram. And we're also going to use the Oni Awakening on Ram. And now nothing happens to her. But Rem has 13.2 trillion. She's going to get the damage buff now. That was all for the crazy damage numbers, but there are a couple other variations I want to mention. Before, I'm not really sure how, there is a way to get like a 1 second SPA buff. It doesn't really matter because these guys generally have pretty low SPA anyway. And if you don't use Oni Awakening, you don't want to wait for the cooldown every time or replace the unit, you can also just replace Kaneki and, you know, eat Rem, replace them, eat Ram, and they will get a partial damage buff, which is, yeah, there we go, there's like the millions of SPA buff. I'm not sure, sometimes that comes and sometimes it goes, I don't know, I'm not sure what causes that. That's like kind of an additional buff on the side. Sometimes you won't get the damage, sometimes you won't get the SPA, sometimes you get both. Right now we have both. I don't know, like the buff is very weird, and then the SPA just ran out before the damage even did. I don't know what exactly is at play here. If you have any idea, let me know. But yeah, as you can see, aside from the weird RNG interactions of the passives and everything, we now have 400 billion damage on Ram, which isn't as impressive, but we didn't have to use Oni Awakening. I think that part is going to come in handy in like shortwave content, because for example, Ram on placement, right? You can go ahead and use Ram, place them down, and now for the cost of 4k and 1.2k from Kaneki, we're going to place them down and replace them. So now we have 7 billion damage on placement, which is really crazy for like 5k invested. I think whatever weird interaction this is, I'm not sure, like, I don't know, let me know if you know what's going on here. If it's a bug, which I'm almost certain it is, but like, what is even bugging out? I know it's got to be something with this passive right here, but like, is it from like the Hungry Urges when he tries to extend the stuns? I don't know. Either way, I think this is a very strong bug, and I kind of want to mess around with it in different game modes and find out how they do. Next up, we're of course hopping into the Sugar Rush game mode, and I want to showcase like how strong this is going to be for early waves. So let me get down my Rem and Ram back here. Get down my Rem, place down my Ram next to her, and now Kaneki's going down. And I think I might have found a way to get the buff going infinitely, but let me use the buff real quick and show you. Ram now has 3.36 billion damage on placement, and it looks like for some reason if you use the first stun on Rem and then the second stun on Ram, from what I can tell she doesn't lose the damage buff, like ever. We, by the way, choose this card right here, but I also brought Catboy Healer, or Felix, with us because I want to try him out. I've already seen this guy, of course, you know, showcases every update on the first day, on my live streams and everything. But I want to have him, like, properly shown off in a video, kind of. Just because, I mean, his passives aren't that crazy, they're, like, pretty self-explanatory. Nothing too shocking with this guy. But I do want to show off how strong this one could be, maybe. 2x damage every 5th attack, if we even need to use that. If Rem and Ram will even get 5 attacks in, I don't know. I'll try using this whenever the final boss is here. Okay, here we go. We don't have much time before the final boss spawns in. I want to kind of prepare here. And by the way, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we're actually running solo super strength on my Rem now. I was not running that before, but even more damage buff. Anyway, what we're going to do, I'm going to sell everything. We're going to place down Rem and Ram, like max them out as well. Boom, both of them going down, max them out. And we are now going to Becky going down, Flesh Eater on Rem, then Oni Awakening on Ram. Okay, 9.86 trillion on Ram. There we go. I think I'm actually supposed to do that the other way around to get the most damage value. But you know what, whatever. We're going to Blast Water Protection on her. On Ram Clairvoyant. Or we can't. Wait, what? Alright, final boss coming in. How fast are we killing it? 9.86 trillion DPS, come on. We also have, of course, the 260... Oh, yep, okay, 1 second. The 260 crit damage, percent crit damage. We had 1 SPA there, and 9.86 trillion damage. Absolutely melted the final boss, no question there. And as you can see the whole time, I mean, it was very OP as soon as we got 5k cash, which for this game mode, you get first wave. Very, very easy. Now, moving away from the bug, because obviously it's not going to be around forever, and they're probably going to patch it pretty soon. I do want to talk about Rem and Ram as a unit, because I kind of want to talk about every unit from this ReZero update eventually, because I really like ReZero, and I really like the unit designs as well. But Rem and Ram, in my opinion, pretty much fit into any team. Very, very viable for anything, really. Just because of, alone, aside from their damage, which is obviously pretty high. I mean, for one, we have a water and nature unit, because Rem and Ram are different elements, which is pretty helpful. And they've also just got a lot of supporting value, I think, to fit into really any team in current meta. Like this right here on Ram, really good damage buff and slowdown, kind of like Aizen, if you remember that unit. And they both also have different follow-up attacks, which are pretty strong. I think that Rams are kind of like bleed buffing related, and then Ram is kind of freeze oriented, but also like pressure, weakened, crippled, all really good debuffs, I think. Overall, there's not really much to hate about these units. I mean, really good damage, full AoE, really good debuffing. In my opinion, I really like to run the Godly Denji with these guys. First of all, the Godly Lead of the bleed type dot damage buff. We know that Rem and Ram have a lot of bleed. Then he has even more bleed buffing from a passive, and his ally consumption can be really helpful for stunning Rem and Ram, which of course is going to buff them up by 20% damage, but is also going to make their follow-up attack stronger, because it'll happen every 1 attack instead of every 3. Overall, here's a pretty strong team if you want to mess around with it. It isn't like the most meta thing ever, by any means, but it is pretty fun. I personally have fun using Denji. I do wish he got Divine boosted, but the next Divine boost is apparently Shinra. But yeah, there's Rem and Ram. Pretty fun unit, I think. Well, I think that's going to be all for the Rem and Ram video. As I mentioned earlier, I plan to make separate videos for every unit from this update eventually. And I want to say that right now, the meta is like unhealthy enough to kind of feel healthy. Every unit has been getting really strong, especially like max HP based stuff like Jotaro and Lulu, Giorno, Naruto. A lot of like HP drain is really meta relevant right now. As a side note, I also got recruited to be a tier list maker in the ALS Discord, which I thought was a pretty cool opportunity because I do it every week anyway. Anyways, thank you to my channel members for making this video possible. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.